Hi, in this example, we are going to convert a base 10 number to Mayan notation. And once we're done converting, we will rewrite the number in Mayan symbols and look at the 20s place number and select the correct 20s place number in Mayan symbols. So the first thing we need to do is recall a couple of things. The first thing we want to recall is that when you go from base 10 to a different base, we have to divide and subtract. And then we can do this and by the calculator as well. The second thing we need to know is the Mayan numeration system is in base 20. So these are the two things we need in order to convert this base 10 number to Mayan notation. So we take the number 18324, which is 18,324 in base 10, and we ask ourselves, what is the largest power of 20 that divides into 18,324? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is look at some powers of 20. We do know that 20 to the first is 20. We know that 20 squared is 400. And 20 cubed is 8,000. And 20 to the fourth is 160,000. So since 160,000 exceeds 18,324, we cannot use that. And therefore the largest power of 20 is going to be 3, and we're going to use 20 to the third as our first divisor. Okay, so let's rewrite this as 20 cubed. That divides into 18,324. So we can put 18,324 and divide that into 20 cubed. And it goes in 2 times, because 2 times 8,000 would be 16,000. And subtract. And then we get 2,324. So as we go ahead and find these whole parts of our quotient, we'll go ahead and make a chart. So we'll do place value in the first row and digit in the second row. And since we know 20 cubed is the largest power of 20, we start at 20 cubed place value, and then 20 squared, 20 to the first, and 20 to the 0. This way it keeps us organized and we can fill in those numbers as we get them. So in the place value of 20 cubed is the digit 2. Now we have to fill in each of these place values as we keep going. The next one would be 20 squared. Since 20 squared is 400, we know that this goes into 2,324. And so that would be 5 times. So 5 times 400 is 2,000. And subtract. And we're left with 324. So let's go ahead now and take that 5 and put it into the 20 squared place value. So notice that with each division and subtraction, whatever your divisor is at the time and how the whole part of which you divide goes into that corresponding place value. So for example, in 20 squared, notice that we got 5, and therefore in 20 squared, we put in the digit 5. The next place value is 20 to the first, so then we take our remainder, 324, and take 20 to the first and divide it into 324. 20 goes into 324 about, 1 here, subtract 20, we get 12. Bring down the 4, and we get 6. And 6 times 20 is 120. And we have a remainder of 4. So now let's go ahead and take 16 and put it in the 20s place. And now whatever is the remainder at this point, when your remainder becomes smaller than your base, we know this is the ones place. However, we can keep going and take that remainder and put 20 to the 0 into 4. Well, 20 to the 0 is 1, and 1 goes into 4 times. So you could put this one in the ones place, either doing the division or realizing that your remainder is smaller than your base, and then that would be your ones. Okay, so we have 2, 5, 16, 4. If I rewrote this in Mayan symbols, starting low to high with my ones place, I would have 4 dots in my ones place. In my 20s place, I would have 16, which would be 3 sticks and 1 stone. In my 400s place, I would have 5, which would just be 1 stick. And in my 8000s place, I would have 2, which would be 2 stones. So don't forget, this is like the ones place, the 20s place, the 400s place, and the 8000s place. And the digits that belong in this would be 4, 16, 5, and 2. It is a little different because we're not used to having digits past 9 in base 10. In the Mayan numeration system, we do have digits past 10 in place values. Notice if we want to answer the question, all it wants to know is the 20s place Mayan number. So going down here, the 20s place Mayan number would be the 3 sticks and a stone, which would be 3 sticks and a stone, which in fact is the answer.